to share about mid to higher-ish paper options. I did a budget-friendly paper option video yesterday, and in me getting ready to kind of separate the papers from like more affordable to mid to higher-ish, I decided to put the mid and higher-ish options in the same video because I don't have a lot of higher-ish options. Um, and this is based on my budget. So in the video, I mentioned that there are, um, I think everybody will potentially rank different paper options differently. So, as an example, I talked about that a lot of mixed media artists and more of the larger platforms art platforms talk about like Fabriano paper, Arches, Hanamula, these brands. I've never tried those brands. Those are to me on the higher options of paper. So for me, higher-ish options are like Strathmore and Caran Dash. So that's I just want to preface and give that context that yeah, like my range is a little bit different. One because I haven't tried clearly all of the papers, but I also haven't tried like those really higher end brands just because I can't afford that. And to me, I found really good, more affordable options that are still very good quality papers. So, one that as I was like putting this video together, um, I was like, wow, I have a lot of Strathmore paper. So, but for me, this is like mid to higher ish. The one that I do want to show, well, I'll start with the smaller and then go up. This is paper that I buy from my local art store, and it's watercolor, like handmade paper. This is not, I don't think this is Khadi, Khadi, but this is one of the other just like yeah, handmade paper brands. And I mentioned this before that for me there is a definite difference between like watercolor and mixed media paper. And I prefer more mixed media paper because watercolor paper is too rough for color pencils and for me. And that's what I usually incorporate the most into my art is color pencils. But I do like a good sheet loose sheets of handmade watercolor paper for my Kuretake, and I was looking for them, but they're on the other side of the room. For my Kuretake paint, I really love a good watercolor, handmade watercolor paper. So instead of like buying a sketchbook of watercolor paper, I just keep on hand like a few sheets of this handmade paper. I will also buy some packs of the New York Central brand of watercolor paper, and they sell them in individual sheets like this in a bag, in a little baggie, and there's usually like 10 in there. So that's another way that I buy watercolor paper without having to buy it in like super bulk because again I don't usually gravitate towards it a whole lot. Okay. The other kind of mid budget option, and it's another watercolor that I can show. Ooh, I knew that was gonna be too big to sit up there. Okay. And I know this is like hard to see, but this is and I guess I can hold it like this too. This is the Moleskin watercolor notebook, and it is a A3, so it's 11 by 16. This has watercolor paper in it, and I love this big I love a big sketchbook. So I picked this up, but again, this is watercolor paper, and so it is relatively rough for color pencils. So I usually only use these when I do Melissa Martin's art hang party. I'll pull this out so that I can um, just create, on two sheets and get through the whole art hang party. The other thing that I do with this sketchbook is work through thumbnails for pieces that I'm working on. So that it's not on loose paper. But like I said, I usually only use this one for particular things. And this is the Moleskine A3, and it is 200 GSM, 135 pounds. Like I said, 11 by 16. And you can usually get this for between $25 to $40. Okay. Okay. So those are like my two relatively mid budget papers. The next group is getting to like mid and higher ish. Okay. And I have quite a few Strathmore paper options to mention. So this is a Strathmore tone tan mixed media paper, and it's like that like brown paper color. And so I have just a few sheets of this. I wanted to see what this paper was like, especially with using like my Kuretake on it for mixed media, or for wet media. And this one is, let's see, 15 sheets, 184 pounds, 300 GSM. And this is out of the 400 series. And you can usually get this for $4.88 to like $9. So I wanted to try this tone paper. It's a 6x8 size. I usually will use this paper in conjunction with other pieces. So as an example, like I will create some large, well not large, I'll like sketch and draw on this paper, cut it up into pieces, and then I'll use it as like collage pieces on other paper. Okay, so that's that one. The next one that I can share with y'all is this Strathmore um, watercolor art journal. This one is 48 pages, 8 by 5, 140 pounds, 300 GSM. And you can usually find this for about $15. This paper is very cream. Um, Again, watercolor paper, and it's good paper. It's just it doesn't do well for me with color pencils. I prefer some different paper when I'm using color pencils. So if you're looking for a hardcover watercolor sketchbook, this also might be an option. Okay, another Strathmore, another Strathmore sketchbook. So this is the Strathmore soft cover. Let me see. I need to speak closer to this phone. The Strathmore soft cover mixed media art journal from the 500 series. This is 64 pages, 90 pounds, 190 GSM. And you can find this for about $18 to $25. This is I just recently purchased these sketchbooks. I've never tried them before. It has a soft cover to it. Um, Again, very cream paper. It's not white at all. Um, but This, I really like how the paper in this particular sketchbook holds wet materials. So if you're looking for a sketchbook that holds wet materials really good from Strathmore, I would definitely say try this mixed media soft cover. And this is what the packaging will look like. It'll have this on there. Um, yeah, this holds different media really good. I like the way color pencils go down on this. I also like the way that the Kuretake blooms on here. I've used marker in this sketchbook. Let's see. And it doesn't bleed through. But I would just continue to test that because I also haven't used like a whole lot of marker. I've used mostly like highlighter and let's see, this is marker and it didn't bleed through. So this is another good one. But again, to me, right, like this, like I said, this is a good sketchbook, but to me, it's expensive. Like I said, it's only 64 pages. Um, and you can get this between 18 to $25. So that's something to consider related to this soft cover. Okay. Let's see. My next Strathmore option is this is a paper that I use for my final pieces. So like I will do thumbnails in my sketchbook or on newsprint paper. I will do like a test run of the image or the piece on like it'll be like the second phase, like the second set of sketches where I'm moving towards finalizing. The second set of sketches that I do, I will do those on like Canson paper, the Canson mixed media paper that's in the, oh my God. I keep forgetting that this is not my big book holder. Um, but I'll get the Canson XL mixed media paper and use that for the second set of drawings. And then when I get ready to move to the final piece, I will either, and I'm going to show you the second option that I use, but I will usually go to this Strathmore heavyweight mixed media board. And this has a vellum finish. I don't remember if I have a blank. I don't remember if I have a blank one in here because I do. Um, I recently did this zine project and basically used all 12 sheets of paper because there was a lot of pages to the zine. But so as you can see, it's a relatively thick board. It's really smooth. Like I said, it's a vellum finish. It's white, natural white board. Um, let's see, it's 12 sheets. This is 11 by 14. It's 350 pounds, so 570 GSM. So this is the heaviest paper that I've worked on before. And like I said, I usually will use this as like the final paper that I use for my projects. Let's see, I can show y'all. Let's see. I was still working through some of the thumbnails and the storyboards for the zine on here. But again, like very smooth paper. So if you're looking for again something that is affordable, great quality, and not necessarily on at the same price point as like Fabriano or Arches. I would definitely try this heavyweight mixed media paper. Okay, okay. We just got two more. We're doing good. Yes, because we're at 15 minutes. Okay. This is the last Strathmore paper that I will show y'all. This is coal black drawing paper. This is from the 400 series out of Strathmore. So this is it's just black drawing paper, but it is, I don't know, it's really not to me. It's really nice drawing paper for it to only be 60 pounds. It is pretty heavy. I used this paper for just some sketches that I was doing. But again, if you're looking for a good quality black paper, Strathmore has a really good one. And this paper is, let's see, it's a Strathmore drawing paper from the 400 series, coal black, 24 sheets. This is the 12 by 18 size, 60 pounds for 160 GSM. Okay. And then the very last one that I will show y'all is this one. This is the Caran Dache Mixed Media A3 11 by 16 paper. It's 20 sheets and it's 250 GSM, hot pressed, 190 pounds. This is my favorite paper, hands down. If I was going to replace a paper in my current routine, I will replace the Canson XL mixed media paper for this one. But budget wise, it's more conducive and affordable for me to continue to mix the Canson XL mixed media paper and this one. But between this and that Strathmore heavyweight that I just showed y'all, these are the papers that I use for like my final images. But I love this paper. It is natural white. It has, and I know that doesn't translate to much for y'all, for you to see, but it's natural white. It does not have a whole lot of texture on the paper. It says it's versatile for dry and wet media. I absolutely agree. This paper is great for wet media. It's great for my color pencils. Now, the thing that I have, do I know if the markers bleed through? I don't think I know if markers bleed through this paper. So that's the only other thing for me to definitely test out, and something for you to consider as well. Like if you're using markers, um yeah, I don't know if markers bleed through this paper. That's the only question mark that I have from my practice too. But like I said, if I could replace the Canson, I would replace it with this one and I would just use this all the time. Okay? So I went through, let's see, how many did we do? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven mid to higher-ish budget paper options. I did 7 budget-friendly paper options yesterday, so definitely check that video out, and let me know your thoughts. I asked folks yesterday, like, what is their favorite, what size sketchbook do they use, what size paper do you gravitate towards, what's your favorite mid to higher-ish brand paper. I'm definitely always looking for new things to try. Thank you for checking out this video. Please make sure to like the video. I am definitely trying to connect with other artists or therapists or, folks that do art, that are mixed media artists. And I would love to keep rotating in the algorithm. Thank you.